The Golden Bird and the Hazara Prince. Long ago, in the majestic lands of Afghanistan, where towering mountains whispered to the sky, and ancient valleys hid secrets of old, there lived a noble prince of the Hazara people, Prince Arman of Bamiyan, wise, brave, and just. He was destined to inherit his father's kingdom. But a great darkness had fallen over the land. Crops withered, rivers ran dry, and sickness spread through the kingdom. Like an unshakable curse, the wise men spoke of a forgotten legend, the Golden Bird, a creature of radiant light whose song could bring prosperity or ruin. It was said to reside in the mystical valley of Nuristan, hidden beyond treacherous landscapes, and guarded by magical forces. Many had sought the bird, but none had ever returned. With his kingdom on the brink of ruin, and his father on his deathbed, Prince Arman made a vow he would seek the Golden Bird and bring hope back to his people. A fading kingdom, the city of Bamiyan, once a place of grandeur, now lay in despair. The people spoke in hushed whispers, their faces marked by worry and hunger. Inside the royal palace, King Darius lay weak on his bed, his once mighty form reduced to frailty. "Father," Arman whispered, kneeling beside him, "I will find the Golden Bird and restore our land." The king, too weak to speak, placed his trembling hand on his son's shoulder, his eyes filled with both pride and sorrow. "Be careful, my son," said the queen, her voice breaking. "The world beyond these walls is full of dangers." Arman took his sword, mounted his mighty stallion Bahram, and set forth on his quest. His only companion was Rumman, a sharp-witted wanderer, who had once saved Arman from an ambush in his youth. Together, they rode into the unknown, guided only by the legend's whispers, the Valley of Echoes. As they journeyed through the desolate mountains, the wind carried strange voices, whispers that seemed to come from the stones themselves. They had reached the Valley of Echoes, a place where lost souls spoke in riddles. "Turn back, Prince of Bamiyan," the whispers warned. "Betrayal walks with you." Arman and Rumman pressed on, ignoring the eerie voices. But their words lingered in Arman's mind. After hours of riding, they reached an ancient bridge. An old man stood at its entrance, his piercing eyes studying them. "To cross," he said, "one must answer a question. What is a king's greatest burden?" Arman thought for a moment. "His people," he answered. The old man nodded and stepped aside. "You have wisdom, young prince. But beware, trust is a double-edged sword, the shadow of betrayal." As they camped under the open sky, Rumman stared into the fire. "Do you believe the whispers, Arman?" "No," Arman replied. "I trust you." But fate had other plans. Unbeknownst to them, a spy had been following their journey, sent by King Shakib, a ruler from the east, who desired the Golden Bird for himself. That night, the spy snuck into their camp, stealing their map and vanishing into the darkness. The next morning, they awoke to find their map gone. "We've been betrayed," Arman cursed. But Rumman, ever resourceful, smiled. "We don't need a map. I remember the way." Yet in his heart, doubt had begun to grow. The guardian of the desert. Their path led them into the Sistan Desert, where the sun scorched the earth, and water was but a memory. At its heart lay the oasis of 7 gates, guarded by a dervish with eyes like burning embers. "Only those who solve my riddle may drink from these waters and continue their journey," he declared. He placed 3 objects before them: a golden dagger, a bowl of water, and a rose. "Choose wisely." Arman studied them carefully. The dagger symbolized power, the water meant survival. But the rose was love and sacrifice. He picked the rose. The dervish smiled. "You have chosen well, Prince of Bamiyan. Go forth." With renewed strength, they continued their journey. the forest of illusions. Beyond the desert, they reached a dense forest, where shadows danced, and the trees whispered forgotten secrets. A haunting melody drifted through the air, the song of the golden bird. "The bird is near," Raman whispered. But before they could move forward, an arrow whizzed past them. King Shakib's men had arrived. A fierce battle erupted, swords clashed. Arrows flew, and dust swirled around them. Armin fought with the strength of 10 men. But the enemy was relentless. Then, in the chaos, Raman was struck. "No!" Armin cried, catching his friend as he fell. Raman's breaths were shallow. "Find the bird," he whispered, before his eyes closed forever. Grief-stricken but determined, Armin pressed on. The golden bird's judgment. At last he reached the sacred valley of Nuristan. There, atop a tree of silver branches, perched the golden bird, its feathers shimmering like the sun. As Armin stepped closer, the bird spoke. "You have come far, but one final test remains." Armin knelt. "Ask and I shall answer." The bird's voice was both gentle and powerful. "What is more precious, power or love?" "Love," Armin answered without hesitation. "For without love, power is meaningless." The bird let out a song so beautiful that the very earth seemed to tremble. "You have proven yourself worthy," it said. "I shall go with you." The return to Bamiyan, with the golden bird perched on his shoulder. Armin rode back to his kingdom. The journey was long, but hope burned in his heart. As he entered the city, the people gasped. The bird lifted its wings and began to sing. A golden light spread across the land. Rivers flowed again, crops bloomed, and the sick, including his father, were healed. The king stood from his bed, his strength restored. "My son, you have saved us." But amidst the joy, there was sorrow. Armin visited Raman's grave, placing a golden feather upon it. "You will never be forgotten," he whispered. As the people celebrated, Armin looked to the sky. The golden bird, its task complete, spread its wings and soared into the heavens. From that day forward, Bamiyan flourished once more, and Prince Armin became a king beloved by all. And so the legend of the golden bird lived on, a reminder that true power lies not in wealth or might, but in the purity of one's heart.